The first punch landed before Emily even had time to react. She stumbled back, clutching her books to her chest as the laughter of 3 classmates echoed through the empty hallway. Her long braid, once neatly tied, swung forward as another girl shoved her against the lockers. "Quiet little farm girl," one sneered. "Always hiding in the back. Bet you can't even stand up for yourself." Emily said nothing. Her silence, her calmness, it only fueled their cruelty. What none of them knew was that the quiet farm girl they mocked wasn't just a shy student. She was the daughter of a rancher, a survivor of loss, and, most importantly, a decorated Marine sniper whose name once whispered through war zones like a ghost. But Emily didn't brag about her past. She didn't need to. She'd traded the battlefield for the silence of wheat fields and the rhythm of farm life, hoping to escape the violence of her memories. Yet here she was again, cornered, tested. Not by enemy soldiers, but by teenagers who had no idea who they were provoking. Emily had enlisted young, running from the grief of losing her mother to cancer and the weight of a farm drowning in debt. Her precision, patience, and razor-sharp focus had turned her into one of the most feared and respected snipers in the Marines. Her record was classified, her missions whispered about in barracks. But after years of combat, she had come home to bury her father and take over the family's failing farm. Now, at 35, she had enrolled in night school to finish a degree she'd abandoned long ago. Most of her classmates were half her age, brimming with arrogance, unaware of the quiet battles she carried inside. For Emily, silence was easier than explaining. Until the bullies mistook her silence for weakness. The bullying escalated. Snide comments in class. Shoved chairs. Her notebook ripped apart. One day, they cornered her by the parking lot, circling like predators. "What's the matter, farm girl?" one boy smirked. "Scared? Gonna run home to your cows." Emily looked at them, her blue eyes calm yet unflinching. She didn't fight back, not yet. Because Emily knew the battlefield. She knew patience. She knew that real strength wasn't about lashing out in anger. It was about timing. But that night, driving home along the dark country road, the old ghost stirred inside her. The memories of Afghanistan. The weight of the rifle in her hands. The whispered radio calls. The finality of every shot. She'd buried that part of herself, but the cruelty of those kids was awakening a fire she thought she'd extinguished. The next day, Emily walked into class with her head high. When the bullies whispered and laughed, she ignored them. When they shoved her books off her desk, she simply picked them up. But her silence wasn't weakness, it was choice. Because she had already decided how this battle would end. That evening, the school hosted a community event. A shooting competition at the range, open to stud. The classroom clock ticked louder than usual that morning. Emily sat in the last row, quietly scribbling notes in her worn notebook. She kept her head down, braid falling over her shoulder, trying not to draw attention. But to some people, silence was an invitation. "Hey, farm girl," one boy whispered loudly enough for the whole row to hear. "Did you ride a tractor here today?" Laughter rippled through the room. Emily didn't answer. Her silence, calm and steady, only added fuel to their fire. Another girl reached over, snatched her pencil, and snapped it in two. "You never talk. What's wrong? Too dumb, or too scared?" Emily's hands tightened around the broken pencil, but she didn't lift her eyes. She'd been in situations far worse than this. She had stared down warlords in distant deserts. She had felt bullets fly past her head. These kids, these bullies, had no idea who they were testing. The past she hid. Years earlier, Emily wasn't just a farm girl. She had been the deadliest sniper in her Marine unit. She joined after her mother passed away, leaving her father struggling with the farm's debts. Emily had always been quiet, observant, qualities the Marines recognized immediately. Her patience made her lethal. While others rushed, Emily waited. She breathed in sync with the wind, her heartbeat steady, her eye fixed on a scope. Her name became a whisper in enemy camps. Some called her a ghost. Others swore she could see through walls. But combat leaves scars no one sees. After years of service, after too many names etched into her memory, Emily came home. She buried her father not long after, and the farm became her sanctuary. Cows, wheat, soil, they asked nothing of her. They let her be. But grief and silence were heavy companions. Emily enrolled in night classes at the local college, not for glory, not even for a career, just to move forward. She wanted to feel normal. What she didn't expect was to be dragged back into a battlefield of a different kind. The bullying grows. It didn't stop at broken pencils. Soon, it was whispered insults as she walked down hallways. Books knocked out of her hands. One day, in the cafeteria, someone tipped her lunch tray over on purpose, spilling food across her jeans. The whole table laughed. Emily stood there, quiet, eyes lowered. Every instinct from her training told her to act, to retaliate. But another voice, calmer, older, reminded her, strength isn't always about pulling the trigger. The bullies mistook her silence for fear. They thought they'd won. The breaking point. One evening after class, Emily walked to the parking lot. The three bullies followed, blocking her path. The leader smirked. "You think you're better than us? Walking around all high and mighty, not talking to anyone. You're nothing but a scared little farm girl." He shoved her shoulder. She didn't move. He shoved harder. "Say something," he snapped. Emily looked at him, her expression unreadable. For a moment, the boy